Okay, everyone should be able to see that okay. Okay, so I think everyone's mentioned already what they think that the mentor role would be, but it is essentially around building students' confidence, providing reassurance. Someone had mentioned about inspiring current students to succeed within industry and in their career, helping the students to identify their own strengths and skills that they already have as well is really important within the programme. So at the beginning of the programme, when students sign up, they're asked to complete a skills baseline so that they can review what skills they feel that they're quite competent in just now, other ones they feel that they need to work on through the programme, because ultimately they have to have a reason why they feel that they need a mentor. Obviously, it's about discussing direction and options, providing advice about recruitment, applying for opportunities, sharing your experience as a PhD student, and some of the research that you're involved in will be really valuable for students. Encouraging students to build their own networks as well. So we encourage students to set up a LinkedIn profile. There is also a LinkedIn group for mentors and mentees so that we can share experiences within one forum, offering an insight into the world of work and providing an outside perspective. So the mentee role is about building trust and respect with their mentors. So we say to undergraduate students that this is a partnership between yourself and your mentor. So we encourage them to gain new skills, experiences and knowledge, demonstrate new attitudes and behaviour. They also have to commit to the programme and ensure that they fully engage in the mentorship programme as well. We want them to develop a strong professional relationship with the mentor and absorb all of the mentor's knowledge and advice that they're giving them. It's up to the mentor and mentee to decide on the amount of help and guidance that they want, and we'll cover the duration of the mentorship programme a bit later so that you're clear on what's expected of you as a mentor in terms of the time that we ask for you to meet with your student. So we start our recruitment normally around October time for students. So when they apply for the programme, they have to complete a mentee registration. So we ask them to outline some sectors that they're thinking about working in and the reasons why they feel that they need an industry mentor. Then we ask the students to come along to a mentee induction session, and we outline what the role is as a mentee, what the role of the mentor is. There's different activities that the student engages in throughout the session, and we also ask students to identify 3 main goals that they want to achieve through the mentoring programme. So as a mentor, that could be something that you could ask your student within the first meeting. What is your goals for starting the mentoring programme? What 3 areas do you want to develop? Tell me, is there any challenges that you're experiencing just now, maybe on your programme? Do you have any previous experience within business, for example? And what areas do you want to specialise in? So then around November time, we ask the students to join the Moodle page. So we have our own virtual learning environment, which I'll show you a bit later in the session. So basically all of the students will be on this Moodle virtual learning environment. We have a discussion forum so that students can share some experiences about what they're learning on the programme, but ultimately that anything around their mentor's confidentiality, they have to respect that as well. So we'll be clear with students from the outset. There is a short personal statement that the student would complete once they're registered on the Moodle page. So when we match you with your student, we would send an introductory email. You would make the initial contact as the mentor, and in this email you will have a copy of your student's personal statement. So you will have some background information about your student before you meet with them. Then from January to around June time, that's when the mentoring sessions will take place between yourself and your student. So we run the programme as a hybrid approach, just because obviously with the hybrid learning environment just now. So you can meet with your student in person. So that could actually be on campus whilst you're studying and you're coming in on campus, or if you are working as well, you can meet with a student within your workplace, or you can have sessions online. So you can use Zoom, you can use MS Teams. Obviously the students will be familiar with using these different technologies within their studies. So the meetings normally last around an hour to 2 hours. So if it's online, they've been lasting around about an hour. If you want to spend more time with your student, then that's absolutely fine. It really just depends on the time that you've got available to meet with your student. So the student can observe some of the work that you're involved in. They can observe some of the research areas that you're working on. They can also go out into your workplace, meet with you there, and they can observe some of the things that you do within your work environment. Some mentors in the past have supported students through as though they were applying for a role within their organisation. So that might be that they ask them to have a look at a mock job descriptor, update their CV, carry out a mock interview. So there's lots of different activities that you can do with your students, but ultimately this is about supporting students with their employability skills and development. And I'll show you the resource that we introduced to students as part of the induction, so that they've got ideas for activities that they can cover with their mentor. So the meetings take place between January and June time, and there is a mentoring log that the student would complete with their mentor. This gets uploaded by the student to the virtual learning environment up to 7 days after they have their session with their mentor. We will follow up with all mentors and all mentees on the programme just to make sure things are going okay. And if you had any questions or you weren't sure how to deal with a particular situation or a question that the student had asked, then we can obviously give you some advice about how to deal with that scenario. Then in June time, we have our evaluation and celebration event. So we ask mentors to complete a short evaluation about their experience and also the mentees. And then we have our wider student success event, which normally takes place around early June. So we do actually have an upcoming student success event for the current programme. And I think it would actually be useful if you were interested in becoming a mentor to actually come along to that, because then you'll be able to hear about some of the mentee and mentors' experiences. So I'll send the information about the event. There'll be an Eventbrite link that you can register to attend. So I'll send that once we've planned the event as well. So the mentoring commitment. So we ask you to complete a mentor registration if you're interested in the programme, and then you would attend a short mentor induction. So if there's quite a few of you that are interested in becoming a mentor, then I can run a session online or on campus in a group, if that works. If not, I can just do it individually with you. So it just depends on the time that you've got available, but we can arrange this after this session. So for the first meeting with your student, we want you to set ground rules for communication. So be clear with your mentee about the times that you have available. We understand that you might be doing some teaching as well, and obviously your research will take up quite a lot of your time. So just be clear about the times that you have available. You can meet with the student in the evening as well, just to let you know. So some mentors think it only has to be between 9 o'clock and 5, but obviously within the business environment, there's a lot more flexibility with hours of work. If it suits yourself and your mentee to meet later on in the day or the evening, then that's absolutely fine as well. You would agree meeting dates with your mentee and times that you're available. Good practice is asking the student to maybe set times or a series of meetings with yourself. So for example, you might meet with your mentee every Thursday morning at 10 o'clock for an hour, and you might want to ask your mentee to send you a meeting request in your diary so that you know that you're meeting with your mentee every couple of weeks. And it also helps the mentee to develop time management skills. So mentees are undertaking the programme alongside their academic studies, so expect them to ensure that they're keeping up to date with their academic learning as well as their involvement in the mentoring programme. So then we want you to begin action planning with your mentee to identify goals to work on. So be clear about the support that you can offer your mentee as well. We don't expect mentors to have the answer to all of the mentee's questions. There might be things that you have to go away and research yourself. You might not be sure about the answer if they ask you, and you might think, well, actually, I'll have to go away and have a look into that myself and come back with the answer. So it's really about helping the student as a mentee to develop their own resourcefulness as well. So then you'll have your meetings with your mentee over the 6 months. You'll keep in contact with the mentoring staff, and then we would ask you to complete the end of programme evaluation. So some of the benefits as a mentor, you have already outlined some of the benefits, and I do appreciate that some of you will have already been involved in mentoring, or you might have managed a team of staff before or been in a senior position within your work environment. So it is really about having that satisfaction of helping someone to develop. And obviously you'll have a mentor for different reasons within your career. So before I worked at UWS, I worked within community regeneration, and I worked in schools and colleges. And I had a mentor, because I wanted to develop my career and I wanted to work within higher education. Now that I'm in higher education, I'm currently undertaking the postgraduate certificate in academic practice for teaching and learning, which I'm aware some of you might be currently undergoing or be thinking about undertaking that programme. So I have a mentor now more for teaching and learning, because that's the route that I want to move into. So there'll be different stages as to when you feel that you need a mentor as well from the other side of it. So it's about experiencing the satisfaction of helping someone to progress within their career. You'll be able to network with other mentors as well, sharing some experiences amongst each other as well. You'll be able to add mentoring to your CV and evidence professional development within your PhD portfolio. And it will also give you experience in learning as well. So you will get one-to-one experience in supporting a student. What we have had in the past as well is, if we have, for example, maybe 6 mentors from one organisation, sometimes they deliver group sessions with students, which is something we can look at as well. So for example, if there's maybe 6 of you that decide that you want to be mentors, and you maybe want to ask the 6 individual students that you're meeting with to also come along to a group session with yourselves, we can help facilitate that as well. That's worked really well in the past for mentors and mentees, sharing some of the activities that they're involved in on the programme. Also, if you are undertaking the postgraduate certificate in academic practice, mentoring is integral within that programme as well. So having that experience that you have already mentored an undergraduate level student will be really beneficial if you do decide to become a lecturer. So I would definitely, suggest that try and get this experience of supporting undergraduate level students, because that would be something, for example, that you might be asked about if you go for interview as well. What has been your experience in supporting students, particularly if you're delivering work-related learning and work-based learning modules as well to students, because ultimately that is about supporting students with their industry experience and developing their employability, which the mentoring programme is integral to that. I think we might have a question in the chat. Okay, that's great. Yep. I'll just move on to the next slides. Oh, I think my screen's frozen, just a second. Does anybody have any questions just now?
No, it's fine. No
Thank
question
you.
at all. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, you should be able to see the screen.
Yeah.
Screen now. Okay. So have a think about, for yourself, what are the 3 main goals that you want to achieve by becoming a mentor, which is really important. What is the reasons why you want to undertake the mentorship programme as a mentor? Have a think about what experiences that you can share with your student, and how will you use your research to support an undergraduate level student. So I'll leave you to think about that over the next few minutes. If you want to stop the recording, if you feel comfortable about sharing that in the chat, or if you just